Welcome students, I am Vinita Prasad with the video lecture on the topic Journey to the End of the Earth by Tishani Doshi. It's a travelogue. It is taken from the book Flamingo, Class 12. Tishani Doshi is an Indian poet, journalist and dancer based in Chennai. She has published 6 books of poetry and fiction. Her essays, poems, and short stories have been widely anthologized. She is also the recipient of an Eric Gregory Award for Poetry. She is also the winner of the All India Poetry Competition, and her first book, Countries of the Body, won the prestigious Forward Prize for the first best collection in 2006. She is currently visiting professor of practice, literature and creative writing at New York University, Abu Dhabi. So, the journey to the end of the earth is a journey to Antarctica. That is the coldest, driest, windiest continent in the world. The writer was a part of students on ice expedition that was visiting Antarctica. The team crossed 9 time zones, 3 bodies of water, and as many ecospheres aboard a ship, academic Sokolashki, to reach the land of wonder. She was wonderstruck at its immensity, its isolation, and above all the fact that India and Antarctica once formed the same landmass. Now, as you have seen that there are many geographical terms. So, what is a time zone? The term time zone can be used to describe several different things, but mostly it refers to the local time of a region or a country. A time zone is the region of the globe that observes a uniform standard time for legal, commercial, and social purpose. So, a time zone is the region of the globe that observes a uniform standard time for legal, commercial, and social purposes. Time zones tend to follow the boundaries of countries and their subdivisions instead of strictly following longitude, because it is convenient for areas in close commercial or other communication to keep the same time. So time zone is the standard time, a uniform standard time. Now they have also crossed 3 bodies of water. So what is 3 bodies of water? Geographers divide Earth in 3 water bodies: ocean, flowing waters, and lake. Now they have also crossed as many ecospheres. So what is ecosphere? The regions of the universe, especially on the earth, that are capable of supporting life. That is the biosphere. So in simple terms, ecosphere is the regions of the universe that are capable of supporting life. Now it's a part of history. A visit to Antarctica, around which Gondwana once existed, is like going back to the past. It is like revisiting history. In its layer of ice, it holds 500,000-year-old carbon track records. It gives us an understanding of evolution and extinction and ozone and carbon. So, the Antarctica holds a 500,000-year-old carbon track records in its layers of ice. Now, different types of fauna of Antarctica. You can see southern elephant seals, leopard seals, toothed whale, Weddell seals. So the inhabitants of Antarctica, the Antarctica is inhabited by a variety of life forms. One can find midges and mites, mosquitoes and insects to blue whales. Then there are icebergs as big as countries. The largest recorded was reported to be as big as Belgium, but there is no signs of human life. No trees, no billboards. Billboards means notice board. No billboards and no buildings, but variety of flora and fauna. So flora, you can see simple plants like algae, mosses, liverworts, lichens and microscopic fungi can survive and grow in Antarctica. The human impact. The human civilization have been around for barely few seconds on the geological clock, that is only 12,000 years back. Yet they have created a ruckus by their various activities, rapidly growing population and various thoughtless activities of humankind have engaged it in a battle with other species for limited resources, and careless burning of fossil fuel have only created a blanket of carbon dioxide and increased the global temperature. These climate changes may adversely affect man and lead to the end of the world. A futuristic move, an inspiring educational trip to Antarctica. The Students on Ice expedition was a great success. It was initiated to sensitize the youngsters who still have the idealism to save the world. Actually, seeing glaciers receding and ice shelves collapsing will make them understand that global warming is a real threat. It is difficult to imagine or be affected by a polar ice caps melting while sitting in our living rooms, and so this visible life-changing experience is important. Walk on the ocean. Their ship, Academic Sokolashki, got stuck in a thick white stretch of ice, and so it had to be turned north. They were all instructed to climb down the gangplank and walk on the ice. The group of 52 had to walk on the 1 meter thick marks of whiteness below which was 180 meters of living, breathing water. They saw seals stretching and sunning like stray dogs on the streets. The writer thought how everything, though separated by time zones and nautical miles, was linked in its characteristics. So, what is the purpose of this visit to or the journey to the end of the earth? Antarctica is the perfect place to study how little changes in the environment can have big repercussions. The Antarctica has a simple ecosystem and lack of biodiversity. It is a perfect place to study how little changes in the environment can have big repercussions. A good example to consider is the single-celled plant phytoplankton that nourishes and sustains other life forms. Any depletion in the ozone layer will affect the activities of the phytoplankton, which in turn will affect the lives of all marine animals and birds of the region and the global carbon cycles. A visit to the Antarctica is like a visit into the past, as it gives us a fair understanding of where we have come from and where we could be headed if we do not take care of the environment and of the importance of the ozone and carbon and evolution and extinction. The author predicts from the geological history of the Antarctica that the whole face of the globe can change like it happened in the case of the southern supercontinent Gondwana, which was forced to separate into two countries. India and Antarctica were once a part of the same landmass till India pushed northwards, jamming against Asia to buckle its crust, and the fold formed the Himalayas. So, this mission, the expedition Students on Ice program was a huge success, as sitting distant in the comfort zone of our houses, any talk about global warming looks so unreal and one can be unconcerned. But the visible experience of seeing glaciers retreating, ice caps melting, and ice shelves collapsing makes one understand and realize what global warming is all about. The indications for the future of humankind become clear when one actually witnesses the geological phenomena. Now, what are Geoff Green's reasons for including high school students in the Students on Ice expedition? Green feels that the high school students will be our future policymakers, and hence it is important to catch them young at an age when they are ready to absorb, learn, and most importantly, act. An inspiring educational trip to the Antarctica, when they actually see glaciers receding and ice shelves collapsing, will make them understand that global warming is a real threat. It is difficult to imagine or be affected by the polar ice caps melting while sitting in our living rooms. These youngsters still have the idealism to save the world, and they need to understand that it belongs to them. So, to sensitize them, it is important to provide them this visible life-changing experience. Thank you.